There was something that the city needed, and that was the championship. And that was really the goal ever since I signed. And then just the way the city celebrated afterwards, like the parade, the outreach and the outpour of fans that were lined up down Fifth Ave was crazy.
I was emotional.
Block to block. It was such a huge moment for all of us.
New York style pizza, Swish or brick?
Swish, duh.
You got a topping that you like or just plain?
Cheese.
Just plain cheese?
Why are you judging me?
Welcome back to another episode of Barrier Breakers presented by Azo, care that goes there on and off the court. Today, I am lucky enough to be sitting down with a 3-time champion, 2-time MVP, 6-time All-Star, and 3-time gold medalist, Breanna Stewart. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
I am very excited. I'm playing it cool right now, but I am very excited to be chatting with you today.
I'm excited too. So many different topics to talk about.
Oh yeah, so much to discuss.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna jump into our first segment. It's called Real Talk. My first question for you is, how did you fall in love with the sport of basketball?
Through my dad.
Okay.
He didn't play basketball anywhere like college or anything like that, but he played pickup at the downtown Y.
Okay.
And around that same time, when I was 7 or 8, I started playing like rec league, CYO,
right.
You know, just to do something. And I also would go with him to the downtown Y when he would play, and I would just play with the kids, like on the side. Like it would be like kids, the parents brought their kid, the dads brought their kids, the kids just played around.
Yeah.
But then I started playing more and more, realizing that I could be better and better, meeting some of my best friends through the sport. And when I realized that I could be good, that's kind of when I fell in love with it, like the competitiveness, the wanting to win. So it probably was like when I was 12, 13, really understanding the game, that I was like, yeah, this is my sport.
Like understanding, like, I can take this somewhere.
Yeah.
Like I can make this.
Yeah.
Did you know at the age of 12, 13, you're like, I could make it pretty far in this?
I think I knew when I was in 8th grade, because I played varsity in 8th grade.
Okay, flex on him.
Shout out to Cicero North Syracuse, my high school, CNS.
Love
Go
it.
North Stars. And then the colleges, you know, I got my first offer from Syracuse. I'm from Syracuse. And then just more and more, the floodgates really opened. And I was like, wow, this is a world that I didn't even know imagined. And my family and I were kind of just like taken back by everything that was going on.
How special was it for you to come back to your home state, win the championship, but also get New York their first ever title?
That was why I wanted to come back. You know, I had amazing years in Seattle and wanted to come to New York and start a new chapter. Be closer to home. I'm from Syracuse. Like, make it easy for my family to be able to come up and down and know that there was something that the city needed, and that was the championship. And that was really the goal ever since I signed. And to be able to get it done in 2 years is crazy. Like, even when we made it to the finals last year again, like back-to-back finals appearances is not easy.
No.
Winning championships, not easy. And I think that sometimes, you know, when you've won, you take it for granted. But I was really happy with the way that we were able to, like, keep fighting and remember the scar that we had from the season before and use that to fuel us for this season. And then just the way the city celebrated afterwards, like the parade, the outreach and the outpour of fans that were lined up down Fifth Ave was crazy.
I was emotional.
Block to block, and it was not stopping. It was such a huge moment for all of us. The celebration behind it was something that everyone kind of got to share and got to feel.
Yeah. What was the biggest adjustment from leaving Seattle and coming to play in New York?
Taking on that leadership role, like being the one that has had the experience of winning and also losing and doing all the things and bringing that to the roster that we had. When you get to the playoffs, it's kind of like a mind game. Physically, it's exhausting because the games are tiring, but mentally, because you're focused on so many schemes and matchups and scouting reports, like, it's whatever team has more mental toughness usually wins.
What I didn't realize is how much stress and like not getting the proper sleep can affect your body. It can affect your pH, make you feel unbalanced. So what are some things that have kept you going through uncomfortable times?
Having a good circle. And really, whenever I've struggled with anything, between like rupturing my Achilles or, you know, dealing with this knee situation that is feeling much better now. Knowing you have someone that you can lean on and kind of talking to them about it is really important. I think about in 2023 in the playoffs, like Marta, my wife, she was 36 weeks pregnant.
Oh my gosh.
And her dad was very sick. And dealing with that kind of thing, and then also trying to focus and be there for my teammates, like learning how to let people in to give you help is really important. And I learned that kind of after the playoffs, but knew that it was gonna come full circle for the next season.
I feel like oftentimes people don't see athletes as like real human beings, and it's like, no, we all are going through our own stuff. So have some respect.
It's like a stigma or something where it's like, as an athlete, you like just fight through.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter. Like, you just keep going. And, you know, the more I've kind of gone into my career, the more I've realized like being able to be open and honest and genuine is important. Like, obviously there are boundaries of how deep you want to let people in and talk about things, but also knowing that, you know, having the platform to help others, you know, talking about struggling with, I don't know, it can be something for like struggling with my kids and like why they're not sleeping, or something extreme of like being a victim of sexual abuse. Like, those things, like the spectrum can be whatever you want, but you're always going to relate to someone and hopefully help someone out.
What's the most surprising thing that you've learned about women's health that you didn't know?
Keeping it clean down there is something that is really important. Like, when I'm working out, even from when I'm warming up in the game to before the game starts, like I change my tights and sports bra and everything. Bro. So definitely making sure that everything is fresh and clean down there, and, you know, has the opportunity to air out and get better. Yeah.
And I feel like it's important to talk about it too, because like often it's looked at as, you know, embarrassing, and I don't know, people aren't as comfortable talking about that stuff, but we're all going through it. We're all trying to keep it clean. You know what I'm saying?
The people that aren't comfortable talking about it are probably like men.
Ooh.
Because they don't get periods.
True. Women's 3-on-3 league, baby. What was it like to start that and also give women the highest salary in women's sports history?
Yeah. What was really important to us was making sure that we had an opportunity to kind of keep players home. We've been on this cycle a lot where it's like you play and then you go overseas, and then it was back and forth and no time to focus on yourself, focus on your health, focus on your brand, because you're just constantly playing. And, you know, now this past season in Miami, we were able to bring the best of the best, pay them what they were worth, and have a whole bunch of brands and partners kind of buy into something new and something that hasn't ever been done before, and exceeded expectations like across the board.
Incredible. And
especially with women's sports continuing to kind of break through barriers.
See, it's just
look at me. It's really important because you need to have the access. You need to be able to know where to find these players, and you were. You know, there wasn't a 7-month gap where it's like, oh, where's Stewie? Like, what's she doing? It's like, no, she's right here. And to have a lot of people come, a lot of fans come from different markets, come down there, like the gear, just the experience that was able to be had. We're raising the bar to new heights for what's going to happen in the next couple of months in the W.
So our next segment is a game.
Of that.
Called Swish or Brick. There's a list of categories. If you agree with it, it's a swish.
Okay.
If you're like, no, don't agree,
okay,
brick that.
Love it.
First one, New York style pizza, swish or brick?
Swish, duh.
You got a topping that you like, or just plain?
Cheese.
Just plain cheese?
Why are you judging me?
I'm sorry.
Right now.
I'm sorry.
I love cheese pizza.
Okay, next one, riding the subway.
Love it.
Really?
Bar. Everyone else, like...
So swish.
Swish. Everyone else on my team doesn't love it. Like, my personal team.
Okay.
But I love the Subway.
All right, next one. Elephant mascots, Swish or Brick?
Swish, yeah.
The greatest to ever do it, right?
Literally.
An icon.
Are there even any others?
Next one. Playing through a UTI.
Brick?
Gotta be a Brick.
What?
Gotta be a Brick.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to deal with that.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that discomfort.
I need some wood. Haven't had that. And I don't want that.
Next one. 9-foot rims.
Brick.
Brick is.
Come on.
Next one. Miami beaches.
Swish.
Tell me about them because
I think just the weather. Looking
So
into the
nice.
ocean. Seeing that like tranquil vibes. Very important.
next one, bodega cats.
Bodega cats?
Yeah, are you a cat person or are you a dog
No,
person?
I'm allergic to cats.
Are you really?
Brick. What? Oh.
You like dogs though?
Yeah, I have a dog.
Do you really?
Mhm.
What kind?
Aussie Doodle.
Ooh.
Guess his name. Stu.
Oh my God, really?
Mm-hmm.
You named the dog after yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of iconic.
He's my junior.
4-point shots. Swish or Brick?
I don't know. Swish.
Oh, really?
Why not?
What would you see it as like
More
just
points.
a further back, like maybe like half court shot? That'd be worth
Yeah,
4
like
points?
not like an all-star kind of situation where it's at the dot, but it's
Right.
like if you can shoot it from there in a regular game,
Yeah. Could be cool.
let's try it.
Next one, playing overseas, Swish or Brick?
Swish.
Yeah.
I love my overseas experience.
Yeah.
Like I was able to travel the world and play in so many different countries and learn about different cultures. So I think that, you know, for those that haven't experienced like going to other countries, you definitely should. But now we have opportunities at home to really also play, build your brand. So it's like it's a win-win situation.
Yeah. Longer season.
Swish, honestly.
Okay.
Because
Why not?
we got like 44 games in 95 days. There's no time for
True.
nothing else right now.
Let's stretch it out a little bit.
Yeah.
7-game series.
Love Swish.
I'm so excited.
Give the people what they want.
For sure. Next one, having a balanced pH.
Swish.
Oh yeah.
I'm all about balance.
Balance.
I'm all about healthy,
Keeping it clean.
keeping it clean. Nobody wants to be uncomfortable, okay? Hello. We
So
got things. Swish. We got things to do.
Next one, silver medals.
Brick, I don't have any.
That's what I'm saying. We don't do that here.
Yeah.
Gold only, am I right?
Gold only. My favorite moment from this summer was winning, but celebrating with my family, like my kids.
Mhm.
You know, that was my first time. On all of these wins, it was my first time having my family there, like
Aw.
having my kids there. So those moments, like they probably won't remember, but able to show them pictures and
It's so special.
show them where they were.
Love it. Last one, tunnel fits.
Swish. I think my fits for the finals
We're good.
series were good.
Yeah.
My home opener here in New York was good too.
All right, so now we're going into our last segment called Breaking Out. What do you feel like isn't talked about enough when it comes to women's basketball or even women's sports in general?
I mean, I think that there's a lot that isn't talked about in women's sports. And I think that that's like all of the kind of the stigmas behind women's health. When you have your period and then the mental part of like wearing a white jersey and then having to be like super conscious of like all the things going on, knowing that you're trying to be the best you can and also creating this healthy environment for your body with like working out and showering and like keeping everything clean down there and not sitting in your sweat all day long, even though you're probably going from one workout to the next. Like there's just a lot that hasn't really been fully dissected. Talking about women's health is not only important for like everyone at this level and like the people on and off the court to kind of dissect a little bit more, but using our platform for the younger kids, the younger girls, going through similar situations and them not being like alone,
Having to struggle, like,
and having to struggle with how to fix something or make it better or just handle it in general.
I think women's health and women's sports is like such a easy like partnership, and just the way that they go together makes so much sense, because it's like women's sports like often was very overlooked, like wasn't given the proper investment, wasn't given the proper like broadcasting, like didn't give it a chance to be successful. And it's fairly like young, like even the league that you play in, like what didn't start till 1996. So I feel like it's so important to have these conversations around it, because reducing that stigma, and also I feel like everything that we're pushing for and why we're having these conversations is to make it better for the next generation. So is there a game or performance that you feel defines who you are as an athlete?
I think game 5. I had the biggest free throws probably in that final series, to force it to overtime, and the entire arena was silent. I had just missed 2 free throws in a row, like 30 seconds before. So just proud of the way that I was able to kind of overcome it. If you look back in game 1, I missed a free throw to win the game. We ended up going into overtime instead. So there was like a lot of mental toughness behind it, but able to kind of fight through it and facing the challenge head on, knowing that I'm not going to let it happen again. And from there, when I was at the free throw line, focusing on my routine, like doing my routine, making sure everything was crisp and clean, like making sure that when I look back, I did everything that I could.
What's your proudest moment on the court?
It's not a specific game. Like I think, I've done a lot, and I'm really happy with what I've done in my career, and I know that there's so much more that I want to kind of accomplish, but proud in being able to launch a brand new league. Proud in the fact of being able to bring the first championship in franchise history. Like moments like that where it's like there's never another first, and I was able to help do that.
As a mother, how important is it for you to be someone that your daughter feels comfortable going to, especially when it comes to topics like women's health?
Yeah, I think as a mom, I want both of my kids to be able to come to me and talk to me about things that they think are uncomfortable conversations, and for me to kind of make them a little bit more comfortable in dealing with it. And everyone needs to kind of feel comfortable in their body.
Do you define yourself as a barrier breaker?
Drum roll. I absolutely would define myself as a barrier breaker. I think that from on the court or off the court, putting myself in uncomfortable positions to make everyone else feel more comfortable, not being afraid to say no, like fighting for more, is exactly what I want to do. Like, I want to be remembered as a winner, but also want to be remembered as someone who's breaking barriers.
It was so inspiring getting to sit down with Breanna Stewart today, thanks to our friends at Azo. For more content like this, please like, share, and subscribe. Only on Whistle.
Mic drop.
Ooh, I like that.